velocity of the particle at time t is given by v of t cosine pi over 6t. The particle is at position x equals -2 at time t equals 0. For 0 to t to 12, when is the particle moving to the left?
So if you look at flashcard number 5B, the particle is moving to the left when the velocity has what sign? When the velocity has? Negative. So I'm going to put on here, my velocity is going to be negative. So let's go ahead and put on here, we have, we need to figure out when cosine of pi over 6 times t is equal to 0, because once I figure out when it's equal to 0, I find my critical point, and then we test the points for negative and positive. So let's kind of recall pre-count. Give me a coordinate plane, and I want you to write pi over 2 versus 3 pi over 2. Okay, Ian, what's the order pair of pi over 2? What comma what?
0, comma 1.
0, comma 1. Harad, what is the order pair at 3 pi over 2?
0, comma negative 1.
0, negative 1. Very good. So we know cosine is 0, the x value, at these numbers. Now, because we're only looking at cosine, cosine was adjacent movement. That means everything on the right is positive, everything on the left is negative. So if I were to look at my number line on this one, it'll give me my 2 critical point is at pi over 2, but because I want to go to make that into a common denominator, isn't pi over 2 same thing as 3 pi over 6? Yes? So that means t has to equal 3 for this to become 3 pi over 6. So I'm going to say t equals 3. And then my other common denominator on this one is going to be how many pi over 6? 3 pi over 2 is the same thing as? So 2 times 3 is 6, so 3 times 3 is? 9 pi over 6, so that means my t is equal to 9. So we know our 2t value is at 3 and 9, meaning when I plug in 3 into my argument, it gives me pi over 2. When I plug in 9 to my argument, it gives me 3 pi over 2. So if I were to even just put in a number line, although we don't really need it. Okay, let's have our eyes on the board. So according to my circle graph, from pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2, would you agree I have negative on there? Yep. Pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2, it is negative, so we're going left. And it says to, what does it say? When is it moving to the left? I'm going to use this sentence stem right here. So let's write on here, the particle is moving to the left. To the left when my velocity, you could say velocity is negative, or I could say less than 0. They mean the exact same thing, which is at 3 less than t less than 9. Let's look at our point system from here. Know when to create your critical point by setting your velocity equal to 0. That's 1 point. And then the wording with all the key components will be another point. Okay, good on that so far? Okay, Andrew, let's read part B.
Write but do not evaluate the integral expression that gives the total distance traveled by the particle from time t equals 0 to time t equals 6.
Okay, very good. Let's underline our total distance. The total distance traveled. And if you look at flashcard number 10, part B, on the back, the total distance is always what kind of value of the velocity? The absolute value. Now, because they already gave us a velocity here, you don't have to write the actual equation. All you have to do is integral from 0 to 6 of the absolute value of v of t dt. And that's it for that part. That's simple. That's going to be 1 point. So should that part be a freebie, basically? Hopefully. Although number 1 is not bad at all. Okay, let's go on to number 3. I mean, not number 3. Part C. Okay, Lawrence, let's read part C.
Find the acceleration of the particle at time t. Is the speed of the particle increasing, decreasing, or neither at time t equals 4? Explain your reasoning.
All right, so we know speed is increasing when the velocity and acceleration has what kind of sign? Same. And speed is decreasing when the acceleration velocity is opposite, different. Very good. So let's start off by writing out the velocity on top here, just so that we're not flipping back and forth. V of t is equal to cosine of pi over 6t. And let's underline on here, we have increasing or decreasing. That's going to be the same sign for increasing, different sign for decreasing, and underline one more value, acceleration. Would you agree acceleration is a derivative of the velocity? P, V, A? And if you're like, I forgot what that was, the acceleration is a derivative of the velocity. So the way I want you to notate this one is V prime of t, which basically is the acceleration A of t. So it doesn't matter which one you start with. I think I'm going to start with A of t because I want to derive. Let's put A of t. Let's derive this guy over here. What is a derivative of my outside using chain rule? Cosine has derivative of negative sign. We keep the inside. And then we derive the inside. What is the derivative of any constant t? That constant? Are we okay with that? Okay? And then when I plug in my values, the way I want to write this is bring that constant in front of the negative. And then we have, negative pi over 6 times sine of pi over 6 t. And we're plugging in what number it says. A of what? A of what?
4.
A of 4. So we have negative pi over 6. It's okay. So when I plug in 4 into this one, that's going to simplify to 2 pi over 3. Is everyone okay with that? So now I want to focus on this guy over here using pre-cal. So we know 2 pi over 3. Does that land on quad 1, 2, 3, or 4? Ooh, 2 pi over 3. If I tell you this is 3 pi over 3, and that's 0 pi, it's going to be more in which quadrant?
2.
Quad 2. So we have 2 pi over 3. Now, just looking at the 2 pi over 3, in quadrant 2, my cosine is negative and my sine movement is what? Positive. So just by looking at that, I could say negative pi over 6 times my sine movement is positive. What is negative times a positive? Negative, so it is less than 0. Now let's find our velocity. We have v of 4. We're plugging this one into the original. Cosine of, if I again plug in the 4 in, it's going to simplify to 2 pi over 3. And without doing any work, don't I already have 2 pi over 3 in my graph? So cosine is what in that quadrant? Negative. So they're the same sign, so what's happening to our speed? Increasing. So I'm going to take my sentence stem. The speed of the particle is increasing at time equals 4. So let's see if I can fit all this in. The speed of the particle is increasing. Make sure you're writing everything down because I'm going to have 2 people read what's on their paper without looking at mine. At time t equals 4. Because v of t and a of t are what kind of sign again? Good. A of t have the same sign. If you added some words, that's okay. Now there's 3 points embedded on this one. Deriving a of t correctly is 1 point. Plug in the values into a of 4 and v of 4, both at the same time. You can't miss one or the other. And our final with the wording, with the key components, would be 1 point. So I'm going to hide this real quick. Ian, read to me the explanation. The what?
The speed of the particle is increasing at time t equals 4 because v of t and a of t have the same sign.
Very good. Harad, let's read it one more time.
The speed of the particle is increasing at time t equals 4 because v of t and a of t have the same sign.
Very good. Okay, let's go to our last one. Good job. Okay, on our last one, Lawrence, go ahead and read that part.
Find the position of the particle at time t equals 4.
Okay, so for this one, let's take out your flashcard number 6B. So we're going to use this right here. It doesn't matter which one you use. If I let f prime be v of t, then that means this one has to be the position, x of b and x of a. And let's see. I'm going to kind of mimic that on the top over here. So if you would all write out integral. Now, what value was given at the very beginning? When t equals what? At the very beginning on part A. 0. So whatever they give you to start with, always use that. And then it says a t of 4. And we're going to put v of t dt is equal to x of 4 minus x of 2. So we have the velocity position minus the other position. And then from there, we found a while ago, not found, was given x of 0 is negative 2. And before I even go on any further, I want to go ahead and isolate this guy over here. If I make x of 4 by itself, that's a 4 by the way, all I need to do is move the x up 2 with the other part. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm simply doing algebra 1 on this one. And then we have the integral. We have 0 to 4. 0 to 4 v of t dt. Let's see what items I can plug in. Can I plug something into this guy over here? Oh, isn't that 0, not 2? Yeah, it is 0. Look at me. Being all wrong over here. It says 4 minus 0. Okay, what was x of 0 given? Negative 2. And for the next integral, since we have to integrate by hand, let's write out the equation. So we have cosine of pi over 6 t dt. So let's kind of recall u substitution. When given a trig, your u substitution is typically inside. It is the argument. So I want you to write out u is equal to pi over 6t. du is equal to pi over 6 dt. So here's my goal. I only want to see dt. So let's multiply by the reciprocal. 6 pi over du.
The Mrs. Breedlove as being named the principal of the 24-25 school year.
Nice.
So when you get a chance, thank Miss Breedlove for all that she does to make our school great. Let's have a great day. Chris,
All right.
thanks.
Let's take out this constant outside of the integral. So we have 6 over pi. And then we have the integral. Cosine of u. Du. And we're at 0 to 4. Now let's integrate. What is the integral of cosine? Negative sign. Is it negative sign? Positive sign. Very good. So we have negative 2 plus 6 over pi, and then open up your bracket. We have sine of pi over 6. We're plugging that right back in. And we're going to plug in 4 and 0. So let's worry about the 4. I guess we can worry about the 0 as well. So my main focus here is going to be this guy over here. So we have, let's all write out sine of 0. And let's all write out sine of, if I plug in 4, it's still 2 pi over 3. At 0 degrees, am I going up and down at all? No, it's going to be 0. At 2 pi over 3, we want to visualize it, although we kind of had it a while ago. This was 2 pi over 3. This is 3 pi over 3. And recalling pre-cal, the difference between that is 1 pi over 3. And y'all should remember 30, 60, 90 ratio even from geometry. So opposite of pi over 3 is 60 degrees, which is radical 3. Hypotenuse was 2, and then the other side was 1, and specifically negative 1. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So here's my opposite over hypotenuse.
Quick announcement regarding younger pouches. Of course, every
So we have negative 2. I'm going to move on. 6 over pi times radical 3 over 2, which I have negative 2 plus 3 radical 3 over pi.
as there will be a collection process
Oh.
toward the end of the school year. We will send out information.
Okay, having the initial value is 1 point. Isn't that a freebie right there? Initial value? Okay? And then integrating correctly was 6 over pi. Being brought out, it's another point. And then our final answer is another point. Here's what I would do.
And lastly,
If you don't want to go on further,
the Richardson
stop right here.
Secondary Principal of the Year is Miss
Okay?
Breedlove.
I think they just said that.
If you happen to see Miss Breedlove on your way out today or at any time this week, give her a really nice big congratulations as she is the district secondary principal of the.
All right, on the very top of part A, I want you to write out
And go Mustangs.
your raw and potential.